So yet another amazing episode of Konosuba, and this one ended on a good note because it could have ended on a cliffhanger, but thankfully Cosmo pulls through to try to save Darkness. So this whole episode was all about whether or not is Cosmo actually going to do something about Darkness and her family and what's happening. So of course, we saw last episode, Cosmo actually tried to go to her house and do what he does best, sneak in and try to save her that way. Well, that didn't work. So he was like, you know what? If you need help, you come to me. Well, the pride of nobility from Darkness is not going to help her to go to Cosmo, even though she really does need help. And we finally learned why and how this all came about. So as the episode goes on, you have Darkness, you have Megami trying to go save Darkness in their own way. And of course, a lot of it was very much a miss, but they were really astonished why Cosmo wasn't doing anything. And then you hear this almost heartbreaking moment where Cosmo is trying to explain to Megami that he's like, look, I've been thinking of ways, I've been trying to figure out a way to save her, dang it. And even though it looks like I'm just sitting here doing nothing, I'm actually trying. That was a nice heartwarming moment, I think. And it kind of made Cosmo relatable because even though we've seen Cosmo act crazy and the rest of them, for all these seasons, here it was Cosmo like, look, my friend is in danger. I know the dangers that she's gonna face, yet I can't bring evidence or do anything about it. It's like the security's already tight. I've already looked into all this. I can't do anything. Well, enters Veneer. So Veneer comes in, and through Veneer, we learn a lot about what is happening with Darkness at the expense of Cosmo and this bag of cash and all the business stuff that he's actually making. Like, if you actually look at the table, Cosmo has created Jenga. He's created apple slicer, potato slicer. He's created a lot of different knickknacks and games, which honestly makes sense. If you take ideas from this world and you're in a fantasy world, why not, sell those ideas? It's not like you're gonna have to worry about intellectual property theft or anything. He's like, hey, we're just gonna make money and get rich by just everyday things that was in the real world. I'm just gonna resell it. I've thought about this myself. Like, what if I went to another world? Could I recreate some of the stuff here? Like, there's no way that I'll be able to myself create the internet or create some routers or things like that, but just little things, like as he had an apple slicer, a potato peeler, and even bubble wrap. That's great ideas. I didn't even think of that. It's like just little knickknacks that I take for granted on everyday occurrence would work wonders and make yourself rich in a fantasy world. So give it up to Cosmo and his ideas, and by utilizing those ideas to leverage information from Veneer in order to help Darkness. So once everything was learned as far as why Darkness is entrapped to this guy, I don't think there's a single person that doesn't feel bad for Darkness in the situation she's in. Especially, you can see the expression of Cosmo and how he feels when it's kind of their fault. They were trying to save the city, from this big old mech, and they do so, but of course it was funny, Aqua floods things and they had to, the reward money that they would have gotten, they kind of had to repay a few things. It was funny in that moment. It was like, haha, okay, here's these guys, they saved the day, but now to find out that because of that, peasants had issues, and thanks to this idiot, doesn't help said peasants. So when Darkness's family does the right thing and try to help out the peasants, they get screwed over. And then now this guy is like, oh, haha, because he was a jerk to begin with, he actually gains out of it. And in this case, Darkness herself. So I don't think there's a single person that didn't feel like, okay, this guy needs to die. This guy, it was one thing in the beginning of the season, jokes aside about this guy, how they were at his mansion and they pretty much abused him, and they had a lot of funny moments as they're living in his house, dealing with the thief stuff. But now that he's a real threat, a threat to their party, a threat to darkness, it's like, okay, you crossed the line, my guy. You crossed a serious line. I knew that. It's like, just because the priest of the wedding had pink hair and such, it's like, okay, I see what you guys doing. Trying to throw off the fact that, oh, Aqua has blue hair. If we saw blue hair, we'd be like, hey, that's Aqua. But no, she goes in disguise, and then Cosmo goes to save Aqua. And truthfully, Aqua wanted to be saved. I mean, come on now. Even though she is putting up a front and showing, as someone of nobility, as she said herself, she can't have someone that serves under her rescue her, save her, and such. So she's trying to do what she feels is right, even though they're her friends, and all she has to do is just ask. It's just like, look, is there any way? But no, she's like, hey, the least I could do is have that part of my life, have fun with them, and be in their lives, and they were in my lives, and oh well, I guess it's over with now. And truthfully, deep down, she really did want to be rescued by them. It's just that here she is putting up a front, but she really feels a different way. Now that they're there at the wedding ceremony and they disrupted it just to save her, I think that she will definitely be okay with it. Because it was one thing leading up to this moment. Yeah, I think she's gonna be okay with them saving her. Maybe a little strife, maybe a little, funny moments here and there, but I think Cosmo's gonna talk some sense into her and she'll be like, okay. And I gotta give it to Veneer. Veneer knew that this would be the prime moment for him to actually come in here and talk to Cosmo. Because remember at the few episodes ago, what Veneer was saying that there was something happening in darkness, but Cosmo would be the one to try that could fix things if he kind of went out of his way. Well, Veneer shows up again, and it's almost like a reminder of what he said previously. But Veneer knows what he's doing here. He's not helping Cosmo out of the kindness of his own heart. He's actually getting money out of it. He knows that Cosmo has all these products and ideas, and he even knows that there's secret products that Cosmo has for emergencies, as he stated. So it was like, okay, look, I have no problems giving you this information. And look, I have a bag full of cash that will magically be kind of enough that you would need in order to pay back this debt for darkness. But it's not out of the kindness of my heart. You're gonna have to scratch my back if I scratch yours, if you know what I'm saying. So Veneer shows up at the right moment, gives up the information that is needed, and this all benefits Veneer because he's able to get all these products and more at a discount that he would normally pay. So, it helps him out and it helps both of them out. But this jewel and the time they spent explaining and talk about this jewel that Veneer brought in, I believe this is going to be of some importance later. Not right now, but maybe later. Because this jewel that was made when someone's about to die after they've been fatally injured, instead of them just kind of dying, they explode. But then they kind of find out the explosion is just a little too big. It may take out their beloved and such. It is such a stupid product. Like, why? Why would you, like, oh my love, I'm about to die. Instead of just drifting off, just die in an explosion. And it's like, okay, that's a little weird, but honestly, with the way that their luck is going, this might be something of importance because A is an explosion. Maybe in the future when they face another demon general that, hey, if they damage it enough, they could use it, be like, hey, you know what, here, have this. And then they take them out that way. Maybe Cosmo uses this in some way to give it to the old man that's trying to marry darkness. And it's like, hey, you know what, here's a gift. And if he gets injured some way, bam, he just explodes. Like, I can see the application here, and there's no way that Veneer just brought out this jewel. And of course, Cosmo's like, nah, I don't want it. But surely he's gonna grab it and use it in some way, because it's way too weird for them to mention this for several minutes and then just be like, sweep it on the rug. That's my assessment as far as that is concerned. But overall, great episode, and it's a great setup for next week, because next week is going to be even better as they actually rescue Darkness. And I'm sure that there's going to be some issues that come along, because no way it's going to be just a simple like, hey, Darkness, let's go. There's going to be a lot of political aspects that could happen as well, seeing as how their nobility and things of that nature. So we shall see how it turns out. But overall, good episode and great segue from Cosma, kind of looking into Cosma as a character in and of itself and the characters around him. Even though Megami tried to like seduce him a little by trying to say she's in love, and he's like, man, don't give me that. And it was a hilarious episode. But anyway, definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. No spoilers, but definitely share your opinions on what's going on, especially if you are just like me and have no idea what's going to happen next. I'd love to hear from you. Like the video, please subscribe, and definitely I would love to see you guys in the future. Don't be a stranger, and Lord willing, I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Make sure to check out the extra content on our Patreon page, and thanks to our current patrons.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.